In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean lies a small but significant island, Taiwan, a land of verdant landscapes and bustling cities. It stands strategically at the crossroads of history, complex politics, and the ever-shifting dynamics of global power. Its geographical position alone makes it a focal point of international attention. Taiwan's natural beauty, from its towering mountains to its serene coastlines, and its remarkable technological prowess, particularly in the semiconductor industry, are matched only by the intensity and complexity of the political dispute that surrounds it, a dispute that has far-reaching implications. Taiwan's fate is not just a regional issue confined to the shores of East Asia. It's a global question, a pivotal point that could very well shape the geopolitical landscape of the 21st century and beyond. The decisions made regarding Taiwan will resonate across continents. For Beijing, the government of mainland China, Taiwan is viewed as a renegade province, an integral part of its territory that must eventually be reclaimed, by force if necessary. But for its 24 million people, Taiwan is a vibrant and thriving democracy, a society with its own distinct identity, culture, and a fierce determination to maintain its autonomy. This profound disagreement is about far more than just territory and lines on a map. It's fundamentally about competing and clashing visions for the world's future, a battle between ideologies and systems of governance. It's a stark choice between authoritarian control, with its centralized power, versus the principles of democratic self-determination, where the people decide their own destiny. The Taiwan Strait, a narrow body of water just 100 miles wide at its narrowest point, is not only a vital and crucial international shipping lane, facilitating global trade, but also a highly sensitive and potentially explosive military front line. The entire world watches with bated breath, carefully monitoring every development, as the tension surrounding Taiwan sends ripples outward, impacting international relations and global stability. Therefore, to truly understand why Taiwan matters so profoundly, we must delve deeper, looking beyond the sensational headlines and examining its rich history, its dynamic economy, and most importantly, the fundamental values that are at stake. For within the story of this seemingly small island, we find a reflection of the most pressing challenges and the most critical choices facing our entire interconnected world today. Known to early explorers as Ilha Formosa, the beautiful island Taiwan's story is one of resilience and transformation. Its indigenous peoples' waves of Chinese migration and periods of Dutch, Spanish and Japanese rule have shaped a unique identity. In 1949, the defeated Chinese nationalists fled to Taiwan, establishing a government in exile and setting the stage for decades of ambiguity. Over time, a powerful pro-democracy movement emerged, ending martial law and ushering in vibrant democracy by the 1990s. Today, Taiwan has its own government, military and currency, but is recognized by few countries due to Beijing's pressure. This leaves Taiwan in a precarious limbo, a de facto independent nation denied formal recognition. Its ambiguous status is the core of regional instability. Taiwan's journey is a testament to the enduring human drive for self-determination. For China's leaders, Taiwan is not a foreign issue. It's a matter of national destiny. The One China principle is non-negotiable. Taiwan is an inalienable part of China, and reunification is central to Beijing's legitimacy. Any move toward Taiwanese independence is met with military threats, diplomatic protests, and economic pressure. Beijing's offer of one country, two systems has little support in Taiwan, especially after events in Hong Kong. President Xi Jinping has made clear the Taiwan issue cannot be left unresolved for future generations. In Beijing's eyes, the clock is ticking. The United States walks a diplomatic tightrope, a high-wire act of international relations. It requires precision, foresight, and an understanding of the complex dynamics at play, balancing its One China policy, a long-standing diplomatic position, with its unwavering support for Taiwan, a vibrant democracy that seeks to maintain its autonomy. This balancing act is at the heart of US foreign policy in the region. Washington acknowledges Beijing's claim that Taiwan is part of China, but pointedly does not endorse it, maintaining a deliberate ambiguity that keeps all parties guessing about the extent of US commitment. This is achieved by maintaining strategic ambiguity about potential military intervention should China attempt to take Taiwan by force. It's a calculated risk, designed to deter aggression while avoiding a formal commitment that could escalate tensions. The Taiwan Relations Act, a cornerstone of US policy, requires the US to provide Taiwan with the necessary defensive arms, ensuring the island has the means to defend itself. This has fueled decades of arms sales, a constant source of friction and tension with China, which views these sales as a direct challenge to its sovereignty. For America, Taiwan is more than just a geopolitical chess piece. It's a beacon of democracy, a shining example of democratic values in an authoritarian region, standing in stark contrast to the mainland. Furthermore, Taiwan represents a strategic link in the first island chain, a series of islands that are vital to controlling access to the Pacific. If China controlled Taiwan, it would gain direct and unfettered access to the Pacific Ocean, significantly altering the regional balance of power. This would pose a direct threat to US allies like Japan and the Philippines, undermining their security and challenging US influence in the region. Therefore, the US commitment to Taiwan is about more than just shared values. It's fundamentally about maintaining the delicate balance of power in Asia, a region of immense economic and strategic importance. This careful dance aims to deter both a unilateral declaration of independence by Taiwan, which would almost certainly trigger a response from Beijing, and a Chinese invasion, which would have devastating consequences for the region and the world. The stakes are incredibly high, and the margin for error is razor-thin, demanding careful consideration and strategic planning at every turn. Every move is watched closely, scrutinized by allies and adversaries alike, each seeking to understand the true intentions and capabilities of the other. The future of the entire region, and perhaps the global order, may ultimately hinge on this delicate and precarious balance. Taiwan's global significance rests on something incredibly tiny, something almost imperceptible to the naked eye. It's the semiconductor, also known as the microchip. These intricate pieces of technology are the unsung heroes of the modern world. These microchips power everything from smartphones, the devices we use every day to connect with the world, to fighter jets, the complex machines that defend nations. And Taiwan, especially TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, produces over 90% of the world's most advanced chips. This near monopoly gives Taiwan an outsized influence on the global stage. This dominance has created the Silicon Shield, a concept that suggests Taiwan's crucial role in the global tech supply chain deters potential invasion. The logic is simple. The world needs Taiwan's chips. A conflict would devastate chip production, bringing factories to a standstill, crippling industries worldwide from automotive to consumer electronics, and crucially, harming China's own economy, which relies heavily on these very same chips. But the pandemic exposed the fragility of this system, revealing vulnerabilities in the interconnected global economy. This led to a global chip shortage, impacting everything from car manufacturing to the availability of gaming consoles. This crisis is prompting countries around the world to invest heavily and build their own chip factories, seeking self-sufficiency. As the world diversifies its supply chains, reducing its reliance on any single source, Taiwan's Silicon Shield may weaken, potentially altering the geopolitical calculus. This shift could make the risk of conflict more real, as the deterrent effect diminishes. Taiwan's economic power, built on its semiconductor industry, is both its greatest asset, providing prosperity and influence, and its greatest vulnerability, making it a target in a world of increasing geopolitical tension. The world's dependence on this small island, a critical node in the global technology network, is a double-edged sword, offering both protection and increased risk. The future of technology, and perhaps global stability, hinges on this delicate balance. The decisions made and the events that unfold here in Taiwan may very well determine the course of the 21st century. The Taiwan Strait is one of the world's most dangerous flashpoints. China's military has modernized rapidly, focusing on capabilities to take Taiwan, building a massive navy, advanced missiles, and a formidable air force. Chinese warplanes and ships now regularly test Taiwan's defences, while large-scale invasion drills send a clear message. Taiwan responds with a porcupine strategy, acquiring mobile, asymmetric weapons to make invasion costly and difficult. The goal isn't outright victory, but deterrence. With US forces also present, the risk of miscalculation is high. A single incident could spiral into war. The resolve of Taiwan's people and military is a crucial, often underestimated factor. The strait remains a powder keg, where one spark could ignite a global crisis. The world's eyes are on Taiwan because the stakes are universal. The conflict is a test of whether democracy and self-determination can survive in the face of authoritarian pressure. For neighbours like Japan and the Philippines, Taiwan's fate is a matter of national security and regional stability. A Chinese takeover would threaten vital sea lanes and shift the balance of power in Asia. Economically, Taiwan's semiconductor industry is irreplaceable. A conflict would trigger a global recession and disrupt trade routes. The Taiwan Strait is a lifeline for global commerce. Any blockade would have worldwide consequences. The principles at stake, sovereignty, peaceful dispute resolution, and the right to choose one's future matter everywhere. If Taiwan falls by force, it sets a precedent for other regions. The world is not just watching, it's invested in the outcome. A war over Taiwan would be catastrophic. Civilian casualties and a refugee crisis would devastate the island. The world's tech industry would grind to a halt, triggering a deep global recession. Shipping disruptions would cripple supply chains and spike inflation. If the US intervened, it could mean direct conflict between nuclear powers. If not, American alliances would be shaken. The international order would fracture, with nations forced to pick sides and global cooperation collapsing. The cost would be measured in lives, livelihoods, and lost trust. The world would become more divided, unstable, and dangerous. Taiwan, though small, is a linchpin for global peace and prosperity. Its story is one of a people forging democracy and identity in the shadow of a giant. The world's response to Taiwan's struggle will reveal our true values. Its semiconductor mastery shows how innovation in one place can shape the world, but also exposes global vulnerabilities. Taiwan is where the great forces of our time, democracy versus autocracy, globalization versus nationalism, collide. The fate of its people is tied to our own. Their fight for a peaceful, self-determined future is a fight for a world where freedom and dialogue prevail. Taiwan matters because the choices we make here will shape the world we all share.